Good every Yom Tov, everyone. Sukkos, a short vart. So we learned in the Gemara, the past few weeks, we learned the Gemara of Chelik in the Sanhedrin. The Gemara says two interesting points. One thing we learned, it talks about the people, that the dead people that the prophet Yecheskel resurrected, Tchias HaMesim. So the Gemara is discussing in the beginning of Chelik about Tchias HaMesim, resurrection of the dead. So the Gemara says that one of the opinions of who the dead people that Yecheskel resurrected are people like the pasuk says afterwards. Hashem said that they said, "Avda tikva seinu," we lost our hope. Nigzar lonu, it's already been decreed, and Yecheskel resurrected these people and said that although they said that we lost hope and the decrees happened, we sinned. Hashem exiled us, took us to Babylonia, to Bavel. We're no longer the base of Megdash, no longer in Eretz Yisrael, and they felt there's no hope, there's no even a chance, there's nothing left for them to live for. And when they said, of the tikvaseinu, we lost our hope, and the decree has been final, so Hashem said, for saying that alone, they're not worthy of resurrection of the dead. God said, let them be revived, live and see that there's such a thing as hope. Never give up. There's never a situation where Yid says, no matter what their situation is, no matter what they've put themselves in, we never said we lost hope. And the same thing we learned in another piece of Gemara that talks about Hanani, Mishael, Azariah. The Hanani, Mishael, Azariah, the three people, the great tzaddikim that were thrown into the furnace by Nebuchadnezzar. The Gemara says we learned from them an amazing thing, that they dressed their best, they put on their best clothing to be thrown into the fire. The Gemara says from this we learn a person should never give in to a situation, even if the situation is calling for you and it's difficult. Dress your best, look your best. It's not just like Rashi says, not just the way to shame the people that are trying to decree on you, but also for yourself to show Hashem that although Hashem made a decree that you have to be thrown in the fire, just like you address your best to Matan Torah, just like you address your best to something positive, you can address your best even for Mesiras Nefesh to be thrown into the fire. And I think that's connected to Sukkos. The Rebbe says in the last year's Sukkos, the Rebbe talks about the idea of Simcha, that it says that a person who hasn't seen Simcha, Beis HaShoeva, B'yamav in their days, has never experienced Simcha. And the Rebbe makes a diak. The Rebbe says, what does it mean in their days? It should say whoever hasn't said Simcha. Why is it in their days? Because you decide. You have to decide if you have a situation of simcha. You have to decide if the situation is that there's no hope. You have to decide if there's a situation of that this is a decree and this is something negative and therefore there's no point in even dressing my best. A person who's in control of their situation says, I decide if it's going to be a time of simcha. I decide if it's going to be a time of joy. I can implement and be a person that is able to experience the simcha. Said, b'yamav, it's your days, you decide. And when you decide to have simcha, when you decide to have the attitude that we don't give up hope, when you have decided to say that in every situation I look my best, I put my best foot forward, so that's when we go into simcha, and it says that we could all sit in one sukkah. We go into sukkahs in a way that says everyone could sit in one sukkah. We have achdus, we have unity. Like the Rebbe says in the Maimer, that real unity is not just when we get out of our problems, that we're able to go within our situation, in the way we are, we're able to find a way to connect to everyone. So I want to wish everyone sukkahs should be Zman Simcha Seinu, like the Rebbe says, we spoke years before, Leman Yedu Deresechem, we should have das, really sit and soak in the idea that God took us out of Mitzrayim. Like it says, the man yedu deresechem, we have to know, kibes Sukkos hishafti, the God put us in Sukkos when He took us out of Egypt. There's going to be a geula. There's our hostages are going to come home. We have to remember them when we have the guests in the sukkah. Remember the hostages. Remember those who have fallen this year. Remember those who are still not at the sukkah. That they should never say avda tikvaseinu. We don't give up hope. They're going to come back. Mashiach is going to come. We're going to rebuild the base of Mikdash. We're going to celebrate with true simcha. Make this the happiest simcha of the happiest sukkos that we've ever experienced. And we should be zeicha together to the Goel Tzedek. Good Yom Tov.